There are 339 books in the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge, and I'm going to read all of them, and I mean every single last one of them. The Reading Challenge includes all of the books that Rory Gilmore read or talked about during the run of the highly popular mid-2000s TV series Gilmore Girls. Now, to put an additional spin on the challenge, I'm going to read the books in random order, so stay until the end of the video where we spin the wheel to find out what our next book in the challenge is going to be. Hi guys, we are back with book 18 of the challenge, which is another classic from 1928, so it's almost 100 years old and actually has already entered the public domain in the US, so if you want to write any fan fiction on this book, feel free to do so. So this one is a little bit special in that when it was published, it came with a lot of controversy. So this book actually was banned in the United Kingdom until the 1960s, I believe, for the accusation that it basically is porn. And there was even this obscenity trial around it that in the end was, I believe, won by Penguin Publishing. And after it was finally published by Penguin Publishing in its full form, in its original form, it sold millions and millions of copies. So what book are we talking about? We are, of course, talking about the classic Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence from 1928. So yeah, let's get straight into the book, but as always, please do let me know in the comments below if you do know or do remember where or when Rory Gilmore read this book in the Gilmore Girls, or she talked about it. I don't know, because this is kind of a special one and I would love to know when she got interested in this sort of topic. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the book. So again, there was a lot of controversy around this book when it came out. There's a lot of very explicit description of sex and a lot of talk about it and a lot of inner thoughts of the main protagonist about sex, about physical touch. So there was a lot of controversy around it. And nowadays, it's believed to be a classic, it's believed to be a masterpiece, so I was very interested to get into this book and kind of find out for myself what it is all about. So what is the Lady Chatterley's Lover about? It's about Lady Chatterley, who is referenced as Connie. Connie is basically our protagonist of the story. Everything is being told through her point of view, towards her point of view. We also get a lot of insights into her thoughts and not only about actions, what is happening, but we actually do learn a lot from what she is feeling, what she is thinking about. So that's a very interesting point of view to be reading about. Now, at the beginning of the story, we get a little bit of an introduction into Connie's life, and especially Connie and her husband Clifford's life. So Clifford is from higher level of society. He is very well off. They have this huge mansion in which is called Rigby Hall, I believe. They live a very good life. They live a very high standard life, high society life, I would believe. And everything changes after Clifford has to go to the World War One. He comes back from World War One and is a changed man in the sense that he has been heavily injured. And as of that point forward, he is paralyzed from the waist down, I believe. So that changes a lot, of course, in their life. He cannot work anymore. He mostly stays home. And it just changes their life in a lot of ways, that they are now dealing with his situation and they try to not let it get to them. So they are talking about, well, we are married, we are always here for each other, that's the only thing that matters. The connection of the mind is what matters, and not the connection of the body, because that is temporary. So they are always talking about this connection of the mind and soul. That's the only thing that matters to them, and that keeps their relationship, their marriage, and their love alive. And at first, this also works out very well. So Connie is quite happy with taking care of her husband. She is very determined in staying with him, in taking care of him, and then managing this situation of the life that is being dealt to them together. And the same is for Clifford, although we do feel him also kind of growing a little bit more distant. And that's then when things start to get slowly but surely, it starts to, have a strain on the relationship, in the sense that being separated by body, well, obviously they are not able to have any sexual intercourse anymore, and being separated in that sense slowly also starts to affect all the other aspects of their relationship. So they talk less with each other, they seem less interested in each other. Clifford also kind of goes into this very depressed phase, although he towards the outside he keeps up this kind of happy and optimistic personality, while it is very clear that he is depressed, and he is, drawing back from society and just wanting to have more time for himself, basically. And through this, the two of them, Connie and Clifford, they get more and more distant to each other, and Connie slowly but surely starts to miss that kind of physical connection with someone, which then leads to her having a short affair with somebody that gets terminated quite abruptly, because that guy is just immediately proposing to her, and she is very much focused on still keeping her relationship and marriage with Clifford. So that's a no-go for her, and they separate. But then again, feelings start to come up, and she is starting to get involved with the gamekeeper that they have, with Oliver Mellors. Oliver, and that kind of relationship, while it starts off also very flimsy and easy and mostly a physical connection, it grows into more. It grows into both of them having feeling towards each other, and then it starts to get more and more complicated, because of their societal different levels and standings that they have. So they need to keep it a secret from everybody. So, for example, when Connie's sister finds out about the situation, the biggest issue for her seems not to be that Connie found a man to be with. She's not really being blamed for that due to Clifford's situation. She is more being blamed to finding somebody of lower societal standing than she is. So a lot of it is around that kind of societal standing, and what it would mean for Connie to actually leave Clifford and be with Mellors, and how that would work out, and how people would look down on her. So that's what a lot of it is about, and it ends up basically with them having to take a serious decision. What do they want? Do they want to be together? Do they want to be married to each other, and so on. Also being complicated by the fact that also Oliver Mellors is still technically legally married, although he has been separate from his wife for a long time as well. So it's just this whole situation of Connie finding out that she needs to have that physical connection, and Clifford is not able to give that to her. So her trying to come to terms with that and how to navigate life. And many of these scenes are rather explicit. So I guess that's why at the time the book was banned, and also kind of being labeled as pornography at the time. So I guess that's understandable for 100 years ago, because even now reading it, it feels very much like erotica and not only like a romance book or a classic book, to be honest. Which is fine. It's something new to experience. It was an interesting read. So with that, let's get into a rating here. So from me, unfortunately, while it was quite interesting to read and something very new to me, I did not really enjoy it. So for me, that's 2 out of 5 stars for Lady Chatterley's Lover. And I tell you why. Mainly it was because this book is so slow, and I know I keep complaining about the same stuff over and over again, but it's just not much happening in the book. It's mainly just listening to Connie and her inner thoughts, and it's just moving very slowly, the progression of the plot. Like when she's talking about going on a vacation or holiday to Venice, it's like hundreds of pages that they are talking about this issue with multiple people. And that's how the whole book feels to me. It's a long book, it's a thick book, it's hundreds of pages, and not much is happening in it. You could summarize it in like a short little paragraph and you would not really miss anything out of it. So for me, I guess, again, that's probably the situation of these old classics that are just not my cup of tea. But yeah, that's only 2 out of 5 stars from me. And looking at the Goodreads ratings, actually seems I'm not that far off with my opinion on this book. So while it is a masterpiece and a classic, it seems a lot of the modern readers are not really enjoying that kind of book, that type of writing, same as me. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Lady Chatterley's Lover. Do you like any of D.H. Lawrence's other books that you would suggest me to read? Because I haven't read any of the other books. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. And now what is left to do, you guys know, we are going to spin the wheel and select the next book in the challenge. So stay with me. Okay, so here we are. We have my wheel here. We have 321 books left in the challenge. Let's just spin the wheel and see what we get. 3, 2, 1, and go. Let's see. I want something that I really can enjoy. Like, come on. Give me something good. Let's see. What do we get? What do we get? The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. I've never heard of that, but it sounds like it could be interesting. So we'll see in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see you on the next one. Bye bye.